wrote. The second one is something called Cash Flow Quadrant, which a lot of people know because it talks about the quadrants people make money from. Employees, being self-employed where you're working every day, and you're still the one bringing it. It's your own business, but you're the one working in it. A business owner where you have systems and other people working with you, and an investor where your money is working for you. He's written a whole series of books that have to do with how the rich think differently about money and business. Now, where this all comes about is that I had the opportunity, blanked it, there we go. I met Robert Kiyosaki actually back in 1994, and that's before the Rich Dad Company started. That all started in 1997, kind of starting in 1996. And what was going on at that time was he had another company that was winding down. He had a lot of real estate investments. And basically his partner was taking the business, he was taking the real estate. And my experience as a CPA was knowing how to handle a lot of real estate tax. So he became a client of mine. Now, this is an interesting thing, and I found this picture, and I had to put it up here, because Robert Kiyosaki he's done 2 books with Donald Trump. He's been on just about every big TV show. You can see Oprah. Yeah, I mean, he's all over. But I want to point out that back prior to 1997, this is a product we did, and I had top billing over to Robert Kiyosaki. And it's like, wow, things changed there. But the fact is, he has an amazing ability to take something complicated and make it easy to understand. And that's what his gift is, really. Because the things he talks about really aren't secrets to all the guys that are wealthy. They know all this stuff. But the fact is that the advisors they use work only with them, not with everybody else. And that's why there's this idea of secrets. But the interesting thing for me was, when Robert was putting his books together, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and the others, I sat down at his kitchen table. I mean, we drew out diagrams and the cash flow quadrant and something called the BI triangle that came later. We did all of that. Now, I didn't bill him for it. I was doing it because it was fun and I wanted to be part of it. But the bigger thing is that sometimes in your life, you catch on to this person or this idea or this company, and you think, this is going to go somewhere. How many people know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And have you also seen those companies and said, man, if only I'd done, X, Y, Z. Another story. How many people have heard of Celestial Seasonings, the tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, way back when I was in college, there was a lady a few years ahead of me in accounting. And she went to work for this little company putting together tea bags in a garage in Colorado. They couldn't afford to pay her. And I told her she was nuts. Well, you've got this college degree. Why would you work for somebody? You should go to get, like I'm going to do. Go get your CPA. Go work in public accounting and make all this. And she said, you know what? They're going to give me some stock in the company. And I thought, of tea? Well, guess what the company was? Celestial Seasonings. She retired way before I did. So being in the right place at the right time can really make a difference. For me, being part of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and being part of that amazing ride, I've traveled and spoken around the world. I went with Robert. I spoke at Madison Square Garden to 5,300 people. I wrote the first ever New York Times best-selling tax book. So there's clearly been other New York Times bestsellers, but nobody's ever written one on tax that went to New York Times bestsellers. This is the book. I spoke to people, over 10,000 people at a crowd. Been on CNN, the New York One, that's a big TV station there, CBS's Market Watch. And it all came about because I aligned myself with somebody that had a powerful brand and the people behind it, that you could tell it was going to go somewhere. And I got to thinking after this weekend, I'm going to share a little bit more about what happened for me this weekend, but there was this thought of, I think all of us, well, first of all, there's opportunity all the time. And, the saying is, a lot of times opportunity shows up and it just looks like hard work. Because we can make our own opportunities, right? And we know how to do that. I know that everybody in this room is used to digging in and doing it. But every once in a while, you get that moment of everything's golden. And it works because you're in the right place, in the right time, with the right people, and the right message. And so I wonder how many of us recognize it when we see it. I talked to a man who was at the event. His name is Jim Schmidt. And his comment about the event and what's happening with Numis, and we're going to talk about what that company is. Thomas is going to share that. But just this company said, nobody has ever done this before. Now, I got to spend 2 days sitting next to Jim Schmidt. let me tell you just a little bit of who he is. He has the brand rioroses.com. Go take a look at them. They're the world's largest supplier of big head, long stem roses. He's got hectares, which is a hectare is like 2.2 acres, in Colombia and Ecuador, growing probably millions of rose bushes that are all shipped to a 50,000 square foot refrigerator in Florida, where everything is sorted, and then they go out to FTD and Costco, or wherever the roses are going. That's his company. And for him, he said the reason this works is it has a powerful brand, something people can go to and go together. By the way, he came into the Numis event. He also came in on his private jet, and he brought along some of his personal coins that he wanted to have somebody take a look at, because they're some of the rarest coins in the world that he had with him. Jim Schmidt, who is the owner of the first branded rose company and the world's leading supplier of what they call the big head long stem roses, said, this company is going to go big because of the integrity of the owners, of the leaders. And so for him, that was what the key point was. And I thought, that's great. And I remember telling my husband, I said, I can't believe I sat next to him. And, I just had a chance to talk to him and to be able to hang out with people that have had that kind of experience. I mean, the stories he was telling about all of building these businesses around the world. Another person that I had the opportunity to talk to last night is Hal MP. Now, just a little story about Hal. He was at the event as well. He met with his buddy Earl in the late 1930s, and Earl told him, I've got this idea. And what had happened was Earl had gotten some polyethylene slag. It's like the leftover product, we're talking the plastic, late 1930s. And he came up with some kind of a lid for a paint can that was like this plastic lid. And then he said, you know what? We're going to take this into kitchens. Earl's last name was Tupper. Anybody want to guess what the company was? Hal MP went on to become the president of Tupperware International, and specifically Tupperware Australia, Tupperware Europe, and he was also in Asia as well. 30 years leading Tupperware from that meeting. And he said, I knew when I heard about Tupperware that it would be huge. I could see it in my mind. You know what I'm talking about when you get that vision of where something's going? It wasn't his idea. It was Earl's idea, but he knew it was huge. And he said, I know Numis is going to be just like that.
Fantastic.
And I mean, bless his heart, because he was talking to me, and he's an hour ahead of me, and we were talking to my time, 10 o'clock last night, because he was just so on fire. He was retired from Tupperware, and he's like, I've got to look at the next big thing. And he said, this is going to be it. This thing he said is the rich get in first. The idea is you want to buy when others are selling, and you want to sell when others are buying. Okay. This is probably going to give this a... Did anybody know what the largest restaurant chain franchise in the world is?
Must be Subway.
It is Subway. I shouldn't have clicked that. So most people will say McDonald's, but actually Subway's passed them in March of this year.
Wow.
Yeah, so Subway is the biggest chain in the world. It's amazing. Well, there was a man named Laurent Bass. Did you guys get a chance to meet him? Who was there, who has all the Subways in China. There's a picture of one in China. And additionally has 8 of them in Hawaii.
Diane, is it the lower entry cost than McDonald's possibly?
Probably, and I think also a little bit, my guess is because it's fresh ingredients, a little more healthy, and they've really branded well with that health conscious.
Good point.
But now this is interesting because Laurent said, when I started, there were 400 franchises. And I knew then Subway was going to go huge. It's now 38,000 and the biggest. You know what he's doing?
Getting out.
Getting out. He's moving him to his daughter. The reason is remember, the rich get in first, and then when everybody comes in, they get out. So Laurent said, he's the owner of 12 Subway franchises in Hawaii and China, said, I got into Subway when there were less than 400 franchises. Now they're 38,000. He says, it's time to turn this over. He's turning it over to his daughter and go on to the next big thing. That thing is Numis. Now, at this point, I don't know if you even know what Numis is and what we're talking about. But I think that there's this moment where, okay, wait a minute. I don't even need to know what it is. if some of these guys who are some of the most successful business owners on the planet, we're not just talking the most successful guys in San Diego, we're talking in the world, were there at Numis University because they wanted to take a look at it. For Jim, it was, do they have a brand? And do they have integrity? Yes. For Laurent, it was, I already know. He'd already done his due diligence, and he was jumping in already. And he said, I just need to go full-time because this is going to be huge. And for Hal, he also was doing, went there, he signed up because the entry fee is so small. It's like, okay, sign up. Now I'm going to bring my wife and we're going to decide if we're going to do it or not. And so he was kind of interviewing me last night as well as I was talking to him. But he'd already convinced himself that he's going big with this. And he said, this is what it felt like in the beginning of Tupperware. Laurent said, this is what it felt like in the beginning of Subway. I just find those comments fascinating. For me, I believe there's never going to be a time like right now. The company is small enough that you can go to an event and the owners will know you by first name. There's only 30,000 people worldwide, and of those, not everybody's active. And the number one income earner will take your phone call and will call you back and probably has your number on speed dial. I can guarantee you in 5 years that won't be the case. So it's a point, it almost becomes, even if making lots of money in silver and gold isn't what you want to do, even if having a suitcase full of silver and gold, which Thomas is going to be talking about and showing some of that, even if you don't care about any of that, you've got a dream for another business. Can you imagine what it's like to be able to sit down at a table with people like this? Guys who have private jets, guys who've got those resources, who can pick up a Rolodex and say, well, who do you want to know in that town? Oh, I know. Joe would help you over there. That's what it's like at the beginning when you get to work with these guys. And I've had the privilege of doing it a few times because I'm a CPA. And, you know, they always bring in the CPA, so I've known these guys. But I don't think most people get that opportunity. So my bottom line is, oops, I guess I didn't have a bottom line. It was going to be.
You go ahead.
It was going to be that for me, I'm just all in. This is what I'm doing. Thomas is going to explain a little bit more on what it is we're talking about. But for the amount that it takes to get going and the team that we've got, and just kind of a little background on Thomas and I. Thomas and I have worked together for a while. When I got an email late spring from a friend of mine who said, you ought to join this company. And he's somebody I really trust. He's an internet marketer. His name's Rob Four. And Rob is the kind of guy, well, first of all, I was real busy and I didn't read it for, like, he had to send me 3 emails before I finally paid attention. And then I said, okay, fine, send me the link. And I signed up. And I didn't even know what it was. So I did it. I said, I've done it. Now would you please call me and tell me what I just did? But that's because I trust Rob. And Rob said, I'll help you. And then I get going. That's like, okay, I want to do something. I want to do something that is in San Diego. We live just over the border in Rosarito. But I want to do something here in San Diego. So I need somebody on the ground in San Diego to partner with me on this. So I called Thomas and kind of strong-armed Thomas. I basically said, you got a week. If you don't do it, I'm going to the next guy on the list. And so, and I did, didn't I? And so Thomas came on, and then now we just come back energized, and we're doing this with San Diego. But an interesting thing that happened is Ray pulled us aside, and he said, you realize that this company, Ray is the #1 income earner, that this company is so new. You can pick a city and own it. I mean, by own it, it will be your deal. So San Diego's pretty big. We can divide it up. You know, somebody can take San Ysidro and, you know, Poway and Chula Vista. So there's lots of it. It's amazing to me that right now there's only 2 of these meetings going on a week in San Diego, a city of this size, about buying silver and gold at preferred prices.
About that for a moment. I mean, #1 bestseller with New York Times or Wall Street Journal?
All of the above.
All of the above. I mean, that's tremendous. And this is the power of a network. The extraordinary power of a network. I mean, you heard a little about Diane. My name is Thomas Mangum, and thank you for just being here tonight, allowing us to share a few words about what's going on in this economy, what you can do about it, what the wealthy and the people that are really killing it right now are doing that you may not know about. You know, there's 3 things that I just wanted to share with you this evening. And #1 is why people are choosing this company. You heard Diane mention Numis. What is Numis? Numis Network. I'll get into that. I'll let you know why people are actually choosing this company that got the past international president of Tupperware excited, Laurent Bass, these extraordinary people that Diane was talking about, and Diane excited about that. Number two is, and really important here, is to understand the trends that you need to understand and how we actually got to where we are. There's a history to this. And this is that logic. This is meant to appeal to and fill in the blanks of, okay, what's the logic and economics behind this? What's going on which times this really well? And number three is how you can make extra money in this economy right now and what the wealthy understand that others do not. It doesn't matter whether you're retired, you're a student, you're a multimillionaire. I mean, Diane's already told you right there. She's told you about the multimillionaires that are getting involved. And one thing I want to really impress upon you is you don't have to have that. I'll show you something that's available. It doesn't matter what's going on, whether you're unemployed, looking for a job, student, any of that. Now, I guess I should clarify, how the heck does Thomas Mangum know Diane Kennedy? You know, I think it's just networking. I've known about Rich Dad Poor Dad for quite a while, and started investing in real estate in 2002. Really, over the last 9 years, I was a speech and communications coach. I was a master of ceremonies. I'd be hosting a radio host. Anything I'd use my voice, use my presence, and I train other people's materials, frankly. That's exactly what I was doing. Now, a lot of the places I was working were real estate. These were real estate investors, real estate investor trainers. Well, this thing over here, you know, with all the tax and all of that, she's the one that would help us real estate investors and help all the folks that I was training as well, help them reduce their taxes, keep more of what they earned, because they were getting in trouble with a lot of the money that they were bringing in. You know, you got to have some good, smart tax advice. So over the years, hey, I'm definitely a product of this horrible economy. Not a horrible economy. I'll just say some of the oopses and corrections in the economy. Did some things that were smart, did some things that weren't very smart, got me in trouble. Luckily, I had remembered Diane Kennedy, kept in touch, and, you know, I think our relationship just came out of that. She really was at the right time, at the right place, in the right time in my life to assist and bring me out of some of the nonsense that I went through. So, Numis Network. That's what we're talking about this evening. I want you to share a few words about what's up with this company. I really believe that, and you've heard Diane talk a little about this, I'll have to agree that we are truly at this historic timing and opportunity, and it's this convergence of when these things come together. And one of the things I like to say is that this is truly a modern-day gold rush. I really don't think that's even an exaggeration. I mean, even for a moment, think, what if this was? What if you were there before the last gold rush? I mean, we already know that in 1849, the California Gold Rush hit. That was the thing that launched us this move out west. People started, you know, bringing in all the gold. They started finding gold. There was that, well, gold and silver rush. A lot of people don't say that, but it was a gold and silver rush, just precious metals in general. Diane's from Nevada. She knows a lot about silver. It's a silver state. The interesting thing is, in 1933, there was this law that was passed. It was called the Gold Reserve Act. It made it illegal for U.S. citizens to hoard gold bullion. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. We had this big old gold rush, and the government says, put on the brakes. No, you can't have this. Well, what typically happens when you tell people they can't have something? Demand. Yes, we want it more, right, Alex? Absolutely. Don't tell me what I can't do. Get out of the way, government. Well, it's really interesting because our money, our actual money was indexed, and you might have heard of something called the gold standard. Gold, it's actually the gold and silver standard. Prior to 1964, our notes, our paper money, if you will, were tied directly to the value of silver. That meant that you could actually turn in this little certificate up top that says 10 on there for an equal amount of this precious metal. They were tied. They were indexed together. In 1964, the U.S. made a really brilliant move. That's sarcasm. Made a really brilliant move and ended the redemption of the silver certificates and began the issue of, wait for it, Federal Reserve notes. And doesn't it sound all official? Don't you trust that? Don't you trust that, Alex? You trust something that's called Federal Reserve note. That's way more secure than something that says silver certificate. Yeah, not a really smart idea. Gets worse. 1971, President Nixon actually takes the United States off of the gold and silver standard. Now, I believe this was truly the start of this whole snowball that has started the economy and brought us to exactly where we are right now. Where we were once one of the actually the largest creditor nation in the world. And what that means is we were loaning money out to the rest of the world. People owed us. Good position to be in. We were once the largest creditor nation, now we've become the largest debtor nation. Who owns the U.S. now? China. Yeah. Any doubts about that one? I mean, it's crazy. It really is. In 1974, though, the government tried to do a few things to kind of help this out, to change some things around. In 1974, President Ford repeals the limitations on gold ownership. And in 1986, President Reagan did something really amazing. And he helped pass the Liberty Coin Act, which reintroduced and allowed us to start minting American silver and gold eagles, which you'll see up here right now. So the U.S. is able to have these. In fact, President Reagan really wanted Americans to have silver and gold. He was a big fan of that. In 2008, kind of fast forward here. In 2008,
Go back. We don't want to go.
we don't want to go back. In 2008, it's no mystery, we had a global financial crisis, didn't we? And this was truly a worldwide economic meltdown. It's really interesting as I go out and I'm just sharing with people what's going on and what some of the chronology is with our economy. One thing that I always find interesting is that people are genuinely surprised that this is a worldwide thing. This is not just a U.S. issue. It is worldwide. And the really scary thing is that most Americans are getting rather complacent. We've kind of gotten to the place of, well, we've been in it for a little while, right, Diane? I mean, we've been in it for a little while. We're a little numb. But Europe is getting hit bad. The rest of the world is just unfolding. It has a cascade effect. Well, from these kind of catastrophes, opportunity can come out of this. And in 2009, 3 really smart guys came together, and they developed this opportunity called Numis Network to capitalize on what's going on with the economy. Speaking of capitalizing, there are 3 major trends that really make this a fit for what's going on right now. Number 1, more people than ever are looking for better ways to make money. I mean, you don't have to look very far. I mean, who knows someone's out of work right now? Not by choice. All right. How many know people that have been eliminated that in the last 30 days their job's been eliminated? Anyone? Just checking. Anybody know anyone that's been out of work for over a year? 2 years? Good Lord. See? I mean, this is crazy. So that's one of the major trends that we're capitalizing on here. Number 2 is, one that I'm really big on, is the social and professional networking is now a part of everyday life. The fact of the matter is, you're either not networking, I mean, if you're either networking or you're not working. Think about that. If you're not out there, I mean, you're in school, Dan, you know that. You know it's going to take some networking for you. You know it's going to be talking to the people that are out there, the network. If you want an opportunity or a job, it's not just those degrees that are making it work right now. And demand is exploding for silver and gold, and it's in the news now more than ever. What do you think's driving that? Anybody? What do you think is driving this huge demand in silver and gold? What's happening?
Devalued currency.
Devalued currency. Purchasing power. Purchasing power. Let me give you an example. In 1966, let's take the example of a Mustang. In 1966, if you bought a Ford Mustang, you could deliver 2,500 silver dollars, something like this, or you could deliver 2,500 paper dollars. It was the same. It was fine. Remember, we're on the gold standard. It was tied together, not a problem. Now, if we move that up to today, if I deliver 2,500 paper dollars, then maybe that'd give me a down payment, something like that. If I had 2,500 silver dollars today, of these right here, 2,500 silver dollars, I could buy myself 3 new Mustangs with a whole lot of money left over. Because these are no longer indexed. That's all our dollars are worth right now. These right here, this silver, is easily worth more.
Can you hang on just a second on that
Yeah.
one? Because I've got another one to add that I just
Go
learned.
for it.
You've got an MS-70 something sitting there. Just hold that up if you would. Okay, you're going to talk in a minute on what we're talking about here. This is a certified graded coin. If you had 2,500 MS-70s, you could buy the dealership.
Nice.
You're going to see example of that in just a minute. So just this measly little, not a collector thing. I'm just talking about a one ounce of silver right here. If I had 2,500 of those, that example applies. And so she just trumped me on that. If she had one of these, if you had 2,500 of these, big deal. Quite simply, what we do at Numis Network is transfer that paper money into a lasting asset. Into a lasting asset. Not something that's going to continue to devalue or you're not really sure what's going on with that paper dollar. It's something that has a lasting and intrinsic value. In fact, let's talk about collecting assets here. If I took a bullion, and all that means is like a raw, something like this, a raw silver dollar, that's all this means. If I took a bullion 1986 silver American Eagle, it's worth about, not really $40, about worth $33 right now, I think. It's about the price of silver. Alex would probably know. You probably looked that stuff up. That's about what it's worth right here. Now, certainly more than the face value, right? Like, I could give this to Alex out there and go buy a snack or something for $1. But I'm not going to do that because this is actually one. Even though it says $1 on it,
Alex
I'm
says,
not
okay.
going to do it. Yeah, Alex said, "I'll take that. Bro. I'll take that." But I'm not going to do it because it's actually 100% silver, and that's what's going on here. It's worth about $33 for its silver content. Now, if I took a graded 1986, same 1986, a graded 1986 silver American Eagle, all nice and sealed like this, it's worth about $700 for its collectible value. So my question for you is, if you have a choice, which one would you rather invest in? The one that carries a premium. I mean, that's huge. It's an incredible premium like that. I'll tell you, there are many, many reasons that people like the coins that Numis Network distributes. And I just want to buzz through just a couple of different things here. Number one is precious metals have value that lasts forever. For over 3,000 years, humans have valued precious metals. It's as simple as that. It provides security and a safe haven. As a matter of fact, whenever things get really, really crazy in the economy, silver and gold always spikes. Precious metals always spike. Why? People feel comfortable with these. You know, if you had a choice, you want paper dollars or you want silver if things go crazy. So, yeah, anybody disagree with that one? I mean, hey, this is something that's actually worth something here. Numismatic value. Now, this might be a new concept. It is funny. This was a new concept for me. I didn't understand how powerful this was until recently, and I'm a big fan of that now. Numismatic value, that's the value above and beyond the precious metal content. It's the value based on the demand and the condition of those coins. People like collecting them simply because of the art, the history, the education. Diane, why don't you pass a couple of those out, would you please? I want you to take a look and just savor and take a look at the design, the art, the history, whatever's going on behind here. Anything you like in there? They're
Some of my
gorgeous.
favorites.
Everyone likes something different about the coins. And one thing is, let me ask you, anyone ever kept like a mercury dime that you saw, just looked a little unusual, it's silver, a wheat penny, a state quarter, something like that? Any foreign coins from when you went abroad?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. See, what I found out is 70% of people already collect coins, one way or another, People just like collecting them. And they make great gifts. I'll tell you right now, I just want this on the record. I'm very happy, and I would love to get one of these versus a tie. I really love that. I wish people gave more gifts like this because they're beautiful. And, they can be packaged, and it's just, these make a great gift. It's not just the same old coins. What if grandma or the parents out there, they gave something special. They made it special. It was nice and packaged. It's mint museum grade. Creating a legacy. One of my friends, I thought it was so cool because this is one of the reasons he likes these coins, is because he wants to leave a legacy for his family. He's the patriarch of the family. He's got his son, he's got his kids, his grandkids, and I really love that he wants to pass something on like that. I think that's amazing to keep that. I mean, how cool would it be to be known as the coin king or the coin queen or oh my gosh, my great grandpa, he was the coin king, and he passed that on. And, absolutely why everyone seems to love our coins, and I tell you, this is certainly why I like the coins, is for the first time in history, you can make money with U.S. government-minted coins. It's brilliant. And here's actually how you do that, by introducing people to a very simple concept, by transferring paper money into a lasting asset. Very simple concept. And you can do that one of two ways. Through our exclusive Fast Track Collector's Kit that gets you started in investing in coins, and probably the flagship product, which is the Silver Coin of the Month Club. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way to, every month, get a coin from one of the world's leading government mints. Now, I just want to make sure we're clear here, is that these coins are coming from U.S. government mints. Not just U.S. government approved. They're government approved. And I really think that's incredible. It's not just American, but we get from the Mexican mint, Chinese mint, Australian mint, British mint, Canadian mint. And I got a little tip for you. I want to slip this one in for you. A little tip is that some of the most valuable coins are not from U.S. mints. Just keep that in mind. Because other countries, when they mint these, they're usually a limited production type of thing. So the Silver Coin of the Month Club, here's just a couple little items on here. The Silver Coin of the Month Club, one of the things that happens here is that the coin that you get are not ordinary silver bullion, like this raw coin right here. It is a perfectly graded museum quality collectible asset. They're valuable based on its precious metal content, plus its numismatic or collectible value. In other words, what the market is willing to pay for those, what the collectors want to actually pay for. The highest possible grade is Mint State 70, also called MS70, and you can kind of look at it like diamonds. The higher the grade, the more it's worth. In fact, the only coins that you get as part of the Silver Coin of the Month are the very top grade. That's it. A question that always seems to come up is like, well, how much are these coins going to be in 5 years? I mean, what might that be? Well, one of the things that Numis Network does is that they actually guarantee it. Don't have to really worry about that. They have I don't think there's anything in the market like this, I'm pretty sure that's the case, is that there's a 100% buyback guarantee. That if after 5 years, they'll buy back the coin for 100% of the value paid. There's probably only one thing that could actually make that buyback guarantee even better. What do you think? Anyone?
Free.
How about getting it for free? Exactly. Referring 3 people who become customers of the Silver Coin of the Month Club, and you get your coin free. Pretty cool. Probably one of the best, and I'm not going to say probably, it is the best thing I've seen and most unique offer in the network marketing industry. As a matter of fact, I don't believe there's any other, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, is that I don't think there's any other U.S. government approved product that's being offered via a network marketing compensation distribution channel, is it?
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of network marketing, here's this guy again. You guys keep seeing this purple and black everywhere, don't you? It's like, there's this guy again. He's talking about it. Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, like Diane said. Robert Kiyosaki calls it the business of the 21st century. There are over 63 million people worldwide that are involved in professional networking. And here's some of the key reasons I believe that why there are so many people really using this particular method of really having a business in a box. And that is, startup costs are low. Diane mentioned it before, ridiculously low. Startup costs are low. You can start part-time, flexible schedule. You can work from anywhere. There's tax savings can be significant. I mean, it's no surprise that my accountant in Florida, my friend Diane, they're CPAs. In fact, we meet CPAs and financial planners all the time, that this just makes sense to. Now, there are huge tax advantages just simply having your own little business. There's huge upside profit potential. And notice I said little business. Well, this is not, you might consider this little business, or you might consider it big business. That's the cool part about this. There are folks that just have a little side business, making a few $100s, all the way up to $50,000 bucks, and that's immediate income. That's that immediate income out there. And probably the thing that gets me the most excited, and the folks that I talk to, is residual income, meaning commissions of 10 to 40% that allow us to continue earning way past when we actually did the work. Because, let's get this straight here. You guys know that if you sell something or if you do something, you get paid for it, right? We know we can do that today. Now, if you stop producing, you don't get paid. Well, this particular compensation plan helps us out with that. It means that when something is sold today, we continue earning on that over and over and over and over and over. That's residual income. Not only are there huge immediate financial rewards, there's lifestyle rewards. Earn yourself a car, cruise, vacations, things like that. In fact, there's a couple of us in here that are going on a cruise. Pretty easy to accomplish. It's just something a little extra special that's a part of the program. I talked about some of the kind of compensation on there, and I do want to touch on why this makes this compensation so powerful. Why why there takes a little bit of effort and you can continue getting paid over time. It's all based on understanding something called geometric growth. See, let's use the example. Let's use the example that you join us this evening, right? You join us this evening, and then next Tuesday, we're going to prepare a little get together next Tuesday, and you decide to bring 2 of your friends over, two your good buddies over, and they come over to the presentation, and they come on board. They join you. Well, you'll make a nice little $100 a piece. That's nice. That's some nice immediate income. That's lovely. Now, next time they bring a couple of people, just based on geometric growth. Well, because of the way our structure, the way the compensation plan is laid out, use a little term called binary. All right, there's this binary geometric growth pattern. They bring a few people. They bring a couple of 2 people, and we take this out throughout the course of a year. This ends up being over 8,000 people. Now, one thing I want to point out is, this isn't you doing this. You just introduced your 2 buddies. They brought a couple of people. They brought a couple of people, and it keeps going and so on. Well, this particular commission that you can make on all the production of all these folks that you initiated just by bringing your 2 buddies. That's it. One of the ways that we get compensated out of what, 11, 13, who knows? 12. There's 12 different ways that we're compensated. This little thing right here, we make up to 12% binary commissions. To give you an idea what that means, this is an ideal world. Might your buddies not invite a few buddies? Sure. Let's say we totally mess this up and cut it in half, something like that. Half something. If you do the math on this one, based on the Silver Coin of the Month Club, that's still over $6,000 per month, getting paid only one way in our compensation program. Powerful, 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 powerful. Now, if you like to encourage your team, if you like to, if you're a real cheerleader, if you're not out there, sure, you may be able to sell and do a lot of personal production. But if you're a real cheerleader and really want to encourage your team, there's a really cool way that we get compensated. And it is, I'll just highlight a few things for you. Don't have to understand all of this. One little thing I want to highlight. You get paid to help your team members get paid. Now, just let that one sink in. I'm going to give you an example. Florida is on my team. I'm more than happy to help her do presentations. She's just a little shy. She networks a little bit different way than I do. But you know what? I'm happy to do that for her. And people can scratch their head and go, well, wait a minute, why would you do that, Thomas? Because in a traditional sales organization, you get paid for what you do, right? You guys are working. You've seen sales. You get paid on what you personally do. Well, in this organization, what we celebrate here is that you get paid on what your team does. And so, for instance, if Florida does good business, I get compensated as well. The same thing can happen for you. Now, I want to highlight here. That was just 2 little ways that we get compensated. And one thing to really understand is you take a deep breath. In fact, let's go ahead and take a deep breath. And let it out. You don't even have to understand all the different ways that we get compensated to understand that there are 12 different ways we get compensated. Now, Most of us only get paid one or two ways. I am all about getting paid 12 different ways. How about you guys? Multiple streams? Multiple streams?
I vote
That's
yes.
my point. That's my point. Well, this is all based on your network. In fact, Robert Kiyosaki said the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everybody else looks for work. You can earn a few hundred dollars per month, a few thousand. Yeah, right. Or hundreds of thousands. There we go. I think that's what's so powerful about this is it doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to be Diane Kennedy. You don't have to be Thomas Mangum. They're all sorts of folks. You get the same opportunity as anyone else because we work as a team. That's why I said, what would it be like to put the leverage of Diane Kennedy on your team and work directly for you to help you put hundreds of thousands of dollars in your pocket? Powerful. That is how it works with our company because we work with you directly. Here's how you get started. You become an executive today with the Fast Track Collector's Kit. And in this Fast Track Collector's Kit, you get a couple things. We get you started off with your first MS-70 silver coin. MS-70 is that highest grade coin. You get this fancy little graded attaché case. You got to have a place to keep your coins. It's got a little lock on there, which Richard likes, is that there's a lock on there. I probably should be handcuffs on these things, too. And to get you up to speed with all about coins, and one interesting thing to point out here is you don't have to know a damn thing about coins. You really don't. You really don't. I think that's what's so powerful, is that you're educated along the way. You're just capitalizing and getting in front of that train about that people want silver and gold right now. So one of the things we get is a little educational series on coins are cool. Gives you all the history of that. We also get a little certificate which allows us to grade coins that you already have. So maybe you have some coins around the house, your parents, grandparents, something like that, want to get those graded. Well, there's a certificate in there for you to get those graded and sealed so they don't get any dirtier, they don't get any more messed up, and you can have some gold and silver at home. Probably one of the most important things here is preferred pricing on all of the coins. You see, this is a $100 billion market already. And that's just stunning when you really think about it. And so really this is all about getting in front of there. And it sure is nice when we're able to get preferred pricing on that. To make sure that this is truly a business as a box, as I call it, we get something called, you get something called the Numis Success System. And that includes 3 different websites. This is a very, very powerful part of this. Not only these custom websites that are built just for you in your business, it includes a retail e-commerce site. So all you have to do is just send people over, and they buy coins from your site. It also includes an online marketing system. If you've ever wondered what internet marketing is like and how do people capitalize on the internet and all of that, built in. And including all the training and support to make that actually work for you. All of that, what I was just talking about, under $500, $495, just $495. Now, to have the opportunity to actually bring in hundreds of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars for $500, easy $495. So we've talked about a lot of the economic reasons, why people get involved and why people want to get into and work with the Numis network. I think the real reasons are genuinely getting back to the people are stressed out by the rat race. They're going to jobs that they don't like, or they don't have a job. They can't get a job. They're just hoping to get a job that they don't like. The point is, stressful. Stressful. What do you
I
know?
love that line.
It is! I can't tell. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to invite a couple of my friends, and they will tell you, it's like, so, you finally got a job after 2 years. How's the job? Sucks. But you worked so hard to get it after 2 years.
I'm just glad I have a job.
Exactly, right? Right? People are neglecting their health and their family. And, I can only tell you from personal experience. My health, it was really hard. All right? I took a big hit. Over the past couple of years. And my financial troubles and job issues and things like that, I had a good life, and they crashed. I did some things that, made some mistakes. And my health suffered, all right? And not just my physical health, emotional and mental health. I'm just going to admit it to you. That's part of my healing, all right? And I know I'm not the only person out there. I know that, I have the skills. I know that. There are people out there that are really talented. They have good ideas. They are strong. And we're finding this affecting them. So don't think that this is not affecting them. And it might be you as well. I want to bring us around to something good and just finish up with this, is that these are real people living a dream. This gentleman up here is the top earner in the Numis network. And just a little over 2 short years ago, he was facing 3 foreclosures, including his home. He was not a big, fancy millionaire or anything like that. This is a guy that had just a couple $100s in the bank, and he was suffering. He was suffering. And now he is the top earner, earning over $52,000 per month with Numis Network. That's powerful. That's crazy when you can think about it, you know? Some friends of ours, David Wood and Ashley Needles, this is one of our internet marketing gurus that you have access to a lot of his training. Man, sometimes you're going to pinch yourself. When you join us, you're going to pinch yourself about the talent that you have access to. It's crazy. Amazing internet marketing guy. David and Michelle Lovett, Erwin and Eva McKinn in Canada. You know, the point is that this is changing, this is truly, truly changing thousands of lives. And the only picture that's missing up here, the only person that's missing is you. You know, I'm not being hokey about that, I'm being straight up. It's you. Because it doesn't matter what your background, you can do this. The choice is, will you do this? Will you take that next step? There's a saying that goes, take the first step, the next will be revealed. You don't have to know the whole thing out there. You just have to take that next step. So when we look ahead, would you like to have a garage full of silver and gold coins, control your time, eliminate stress, fire your boss, travel the world, spend more time with family? Live your dream. This is really up to you. You know, I've got my dream. But, you know, Richard's got his dream. What's your dream? Get started now and change your future. And in this industry, and what we're talking about today is timing is everything. Success is often about being at the right place in the right time. And this compensation plan and this company is positioned to give you exactly that. Now, I'm finished with this portion of it, and I really want to let Diane take us home with this, and just, you know, and just to leave you with a few words. Thank you very much for just allowing me to share with you this part of the story.
Maybe I could, just a couple people that are part of, involved in Numis now. Could I get maybe a couple of volunteers just to tell me who you are, where you're from, and why you got involved to begin with?
You never said that.
Anybody? I'll pick on somebody. Yeah, please.
My name is Mia Lama, and I live in Escondido. And I got involved in Numis about a year ago. And the reason I got in Numis is primarily for financial freedom and time freedom. I work for my family, and I really love my family, but I don't love that having to work for them and having to be kind of micromanaged and controlled. So I saw Numis as the perfect solution to all my problems. So, and I love all the family that are in Numis. I love the owners. I love everyone I've ever met. I love all the trainers, all the people that are really growing it. So that's my story, and I'm totally thrilled. Yeah.
Can I share a little story about you too? We just got back from Numis U, and one of the training was learning to present. And me and Lana came on stage, and is that one of your biggest fears?
Oh yeah, I hate public speaking.
Yeah,
so they pick on me all the time and make me go up there and speak.
And she did amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for volunteering. I think it's kind of a story, and I love your story of, not wanting to work for the family and have, go to Thanksgiving and not have to talk about financial things or, business stuff. Have a nice meal together. Okay, I'll share mine. Okay, I told you the story about I like the idea, when I see a lot of people that have got money and influence going one way, I don't really need to know a lot about what they're doing. I just let me be on your coattails and see what you're doing, and I'm going to do the same thing. You know what I mean with that? Okay, well, one of the things I discovered as a CPA is we get to see the truth of the matter. People will say, I'm making tons of money, and then the next thing you see is their car on the back of a tow truck getting repossessed or something. People aren't always honest about how much money they make. CPAs always know. But I've seen people get involved in network marketing, and there are a number of them who don't do anything. And it's not that they really even fail. It's just that they never start. or they quit. I mean, they start a little bit and then they quit. And so they do the MLM of the month club, I call it, where they're just flipping, looking for the ideal thing. But when the point is how they work. And then I've seen those guys that get involved and they come up with a plan, and hopefully the company has a plan, which Numis doesn't. Well, this is what you need to do. Every single day, this is what you need to do. Follow these things. Do that for 4 to 5 years, and all of a sudden, they've got quit your job forever income, I call it, where like husband and wife, working, trying to get the kids, everybody's working, and 4 or 5 years, they neither one have to ever work again. Now, the next thing is if they go the next 2 years, pedal to the metal, I've seen it again and again. The thing that happens has to do with that geometric growth, that what they made in a year, they make in a month. And every time across the board. So basically, for the average MLM network marketing company, you could figure 6 to 8 years to get to that point. Which, considering a lot of people work for 40 years and get hardly any retirement, not bad. The thing with Numis is, because the compensation is weighted the way it is, and it is so lucrative, and because of the time we are right now in history, you saw what Ray Higdon's making. You can do this in probably under 4 years. And I think it's an amazing time. You're at the beginning. I mean, when you think about that idea of being able to, I'm going to own this town, as far as everybody will know that, as more and more people get involved and start talking about it, it's just getting in front of the train, because there'll be a train of momentum. Yeah.
I think it's really important to highlight, and in case, I know sometimes you need to, we need to hear things 10, 20 times before it just goes, whoa,
Right.
clicks, is San Diego, what we're doing in San Diego, what it is so powerful that we have there's no other way to put it, the celebrity of Diane Kennedy, Rob Four on our team, David Wood we have access to. I showed you a picture. You don't have to know the exact names here. The point is, a couple of the top internet marketing, online marketers in the world that we have access to.
Right.
We have the power that you're seeing with Diane, I think the credibility and, the CPAs and the financial planners and all of this. What an extraordinary group of people that you can join. And that's one of the exciting things about doing this in San Diego, because it's one of the reasons that I personally got involved. Not just because of the celebrity, but because what's more fun than working and playing with extraordinary people? Putting some amazing people on the bus, and then doing some amazing things out there.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, we're doing these meetings Tuesdays and Thursdays up in Escondido, and we're here to help.
We're doing them for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do training. We just started training this. Well, we did the second Monday. You did the first one. We did it together this last Monday. So we're doing training on how to do invitations, how to build your business, just the basics of business. So I guess you could say this is if this is the business in a box by building this, we've got the training that goes along with this. Okay. One more thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to.
You want it?
Actually,
No,
do you
don't
mind
worry about
just handing out the application?
Yeah,
Take a look at that. I wanted, for people who don't know what, every month we have the Silver Coin of the Month Club, and does everybody know what it's going to be this next month, or has anybody heard?
It's the cougar.
It's the Cougar. Okay, here we go.
Cougar!
See, you don't
Canadian
know
cougar.
Steve, on this. Okay. Okay, so we get a Silver Coin of the Month Club. 2 months ago, we got the Mexican Libertad. I don't know if you've got it in here or not. The cool thing when we got the Libertad is we always get these Coin of the Month clubs for about $125 to $150, depends on the price of silver. It was selling at $350. The Libertad was online. So if you've gotten that and decided to run around and flip them, which I don't recommend because it's only going to go up in value, but if you did, you'd make money. Okay, then we had a couple that were good prices, because we always get good prices. We got another one this month. It's a huge one. And we're going to get the Canadian Cougar. This is a price I just pulled off online. They started shipping them today. Look, anybody see what the price is on those? What they're going for online right now? You don't have it.
I can pass one down.
Somebody?
$299.95.
That's the price those are going for online. We're going to get it for $120, about $130.
Oh, that's wow.
So, okay, now we're going to get paid. If we get 3 people to buy a coin, we get one for free. And if you did nothing more than just bought it and sold it. Now, there's no guarantee it's always going to be that, and I can't guarantee this is what the price is going to be, especially if a whole bunch of people start selling the coin. But Canada is out of them. This is a Canadian coin. They're out of them. Numis does deals way in advance with the World Mints to get the allotment of those, and that's how they're able to get them. At the show we were just at, my husband and I bought gold dragons, which is the Australian gold dragons, and oh my gosh, I think we paid a third of what those were going for because they're all sold. Australia's shipping all their gold to China now, all their gold coins. So it's very hard to get Australian gold coins, and we were able to get 3 of them at the show. So.
The quarter set.
Oh, and the quarter set. We paid for 15 of the state quarters, the silver ones, MS70 grade. We paid $5.99, and they're for sale on eBay right now for $2,500. Not us. We're not selling them, but that's what somebody else is selling them for. So there's great deals. What I've handed out is an application, and I just want to go quickly through this because there's a couple of places that people would get hung up, and just to go through that. Name, obviously. Company name. If you have a company name, put it there. If you later form a company to put it in, Numis can change it. I've got my little tax advisor hat on here. Usually we like to see businesses and companies, but it's okay if it's your name and then you change it later. Address, phone, that's all self-explanatory. Credit card information. Down in the third kind of green line, it says website information, replicated site name. What that refers to is when you sign up, they're going to automatically create those 3 websites. And so it will be, like one of them is numisnetwork.com/ and then whatever name you've put in there. My husband and I, our company is called Golden Eggs. So numisnetwork.com/ Golden Eggs. Thomas, you are
Silver Liberty.
Silver Liberty. So that's what the replicated site name is what name you want them to use there. Password is obviously the password so you can get back into there and do things in the back office and see how much money you're making as it's growing out. In order to take advantage of the things we've been talking tonight, it would be the Fast Track Collector's Kit. That's the one that is $4.95 plus tax. Basically, fill this out, and then it would go back to the enroller, the person that invited you to the meeting today. And with that, it gets you going. You've got your websites, everything's going, and then make sure you bring somebody with you next Tuesday, and we'll help you get started on the right way with that. Trainings are on Monday, and we'll just jump in and get it all going.
That's right. Thanks
Any
for
other
coming, guys.
questions, comments?